Hey guys, and welcome to episode 9 of the Improv Gaming Gamescast here on youtube.com/improvgaming. As always, I'm joined with my two co-hosts. First to my right, because we're going to change it up for episode 9.
Shocker.
He only has the best ponytail in the business.
It's fabulous.
Mr. Nicholas.
How's it going, everybody?
And to my left, he only is the biggest Zelda fan in the world. Don't believe me, he has the tattoo of the Triforce on his arm, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Mr. Jeremy Bird.
Steal my line.
And I'm Pete, and I'm still thoroughly enjoying Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So check that out.
I'm so jealous.
Oh, it's so if you guys haven't seen, we have a video up of The Witcher. Me and Jeremy played the first 2 hours. Had a blast.
Loved it.
Going and
Just go buy it. Seriously, just buy it.
200 hours of greatness. I don't even think I've done a main mission after we played. I'm just doing all side quests
Hey,
and
you still got the
discovering
griffin's head
things.
on your horse.
Oh yeah, so hey, spoilers! You can't tell them there is a griffin. Do you ride it with it out?
It's on YouTube. Check it out.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Check it out. But as always, we start with the one-up news.
All right. This week, it's kind of a slow week in gaming, surprisingly. We only have The Escapists coming out for PC. We also have Heroes of the Storm for PC as well. And then we have, surprisingly, How to Build a Boat for PC, Mac, and Linux.
I want to buy that game because I want to learn how to
interesting. That is so interesting. Float my boat.
float my
I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Anyway. Okay, also in other news, Need for Speed, the racing game, not the movie, is going to get a full reboot coming 2015-2016.
Everything gets a rebate now.
Rebate.
A rebate? Rebate. We get a rebate on these reboots.
Yeah, I played it a little bit like during the Wii era, but that's about it for my time.
Yeah, I might
Speed.
actually pick it up. I'm a Need for Speed freak, so I like those games. Might be something I might enjoy, a reboot. I mean, not that there was much of any kind of story to it at all. But still, I didn't play it for a story. I don't really need a reboot.
Well, they're rebooting Ratchet and Clank because of the movie, so that's going to be interesting. They're adding new things, but I'm, of course, going to pick it up. Ratchet and Clank fan over here.
Mm-hmm.
But
And last but not least, we have Red Dead Redemption's developers, Rockstar San Diego. The new game coming out is going to involve what's called dynamic multiplayer. If anyone knows what that is.
Yeah, please let us know what
We looked it up, we can't figure out what it
means.
is.
well, that's what they said in the quotes. They're like dynamic multiplayer, and I'm just like,
Okay, what's
Okay,
that supposed to mean?
I thought that Grand Theft Auto 5 had dynamic multiplayer. I thought
Apparently
that Bloodborne has dynamic multiplayer. So unless you specify what it is you mean by dynamic multiplayer, I'm not going to be impressed by the word dynamic. That's not how simple I am. I'm a video game player and I'm an avid one at that. So unless you tell me what dynamic means, I don't care.
You say dynamic, and I think Dynamic Punch from Pokemon. That's about it for me.
I think
Punch.
when they say dynamic multiplayer, I think of Grand Theft Auto 5. That was just a full-on world where you could just do anything you want.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with. If it's going to be a new Red Dead Redemption or it's going to be completely different IP.
That game made me cry with that ending.
Oh my God. There's so
We don't want to get
emotional
sidetracked
games.
this early on.
But last week what we did was we didn't tell you what we were going to do this week.
2 weeks in a row, we're doing well.
Yeah, right? But we are going to tell you right now what the topics are for today. The first topic is going to be, what is a good starter for somebody to be introduced to games? Like, what game would they start with? Our topic number 2 will be, what makes a franchise so successful? What makes the Halos and the Uncharted on the top tier? And of course, what I'm very excited, and I know Nick is, parental ratings.
Oh, here we go.
So let's kick it off, guys, with what games for a good starter to be introduced?
I think you have to stick with the classics. Being that games right now are so dynamic, and there's so much going on in a game nowadays that for somebody to kind of just jump in and play it, it's kind of difficult for them to really get their bearings, right? These franchises and these other games are so well established that, you try to throw somebody in the middle of a Need for Speed, they have no idea what they're doing because they didn't play the other ones. Not that there's really much of a difference
there's
between
really not like
racing
a
games and
story.
racing games. But even still, like, you try to throw somebody in the middle of a Metal Gear Solid, they're not going to know what the hell they're doing. It's gonna
Nobody who plays Metal Gear Solid knows what the hell is going on.
So I don't know. I follow it very well. So I don't know what's wrong with you guys.
No.
How's the Naked Raiden treat you?
but you know, these classic games like the starters that they came up with, like the first Devil May Cry might be a good starter game. Yeah. You know, these one-offs also, like the Deadpool game, the Afro Samurai, the one-offs, I think those are good games to pique somebody's interest in video games and to get them to play other ones. It's got to be the simple ones, the ones that kind of have very little story, but a lot of action.
And a lot of fun.
You
give them a game that's boring as heck or too hard, they're not going to like it.
With me, you have to know the person. Because if the person likes going to the movies, has a story told to them, you want to get a good game with a story.
But you don't give them movie tie-in games.
Yeah,
ever.
of course.
See, the problem I have with that, though, is like a lot of games that have a really strong story are so difficult for a newbie to play.
Yeah, but with the right game, I mean, I say this a lot, but like the Sly Cooper games, like it's a good story, but it's not crazy difficult, you know? It's a step up from doing like the Mario games, you know? It's like, yeah, Mario could be a starter, but like if they are interested, it's a good starter, but you want to get them where it's like, ooh, I want to keep coming back. And something like a Sly Cooper, a Ratchet and Clank, you know? I'm not saying for them to jump into Halo, because that is a beast.
I would say Halo 1 isn't a bad starter, because it's tough, but it's like, here we go back to an older episode, it's frustratingly tough.
Yeah, but if they're just picking up the controller for the first time, it's...
That's normally what I do. I like when I got my first Xbox, I picked up Halo 1, and the battle starts up and all this crap flying around, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And then I figured it out. So.
See, if like somebody likes story, or if they like a racing game, like if they like racing, I would say Mario Kart. Pick up a Mario Kart. It's quite easy, you know, and it has that fun mechanic with taking out your enemies and everything.
Don't start with Forza, because oh my god, the racing simulators, jeez.
Oh yeah, like the Gran Turismos and
that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
You can't start anybody else off on those games.
But a good Mario Kart would be, you know, plain, simple, colorful, beautiful games. You know, Mario Kart 8 with all those tracks, like it would be a great starter. But it depends on, I think, what their interest is. Yes, like if you like action and you want to be able to like kick some ass, of course you would go with the Devil May Cry.
God of War.
From what I hear, Dante's Inferno.
You'll see.
There we go.
You'll see. No, I'm not debating this with you, Pete.
Hey, that was kudos to you. Because I was like, you know what? But like that hack and slash, you know? But then there's the story elements, like other stuff. If people like to strategize, that's a good RTS. I hate RTSs. I'm not very good at it. But like something like a StarCraft, where you can build your own little population, it's a good starter game, and they can get their feet wet. And then when it comes to it, StarCraft I think is a good beginner, and then you can go into like Civilization 5 where there's a whole bunch.
I would never recommend anything like building a civilization or maintaining something like that at all for anybody. Not in a million years, because it's so engrossing that you sit there for hours and hours and hours looking at your civilization and watching it build up, and then you're like, but this there's nothing going on here. I'm doing all this, and all I'm doing is just watching a couple of animations every once in a while. I think it has to be something that actually involves you continuously, like a slasher. I cannot imagine that sitting back and waiting for 30 minutes for your ship to be built is gonna be a good game for somebody to play as a starter. That's if somebody starts playing video games and then you see them that they start to like veer off and start playing like Final Fantasies and games like that, that's when you introduce them to something like StarCraft, I feel. That's when you start to say, hey, check out SimCity, check out StarCraft, check out Black and White, check out all these games, because these games are a lot like that, but it's a different kind of real-time strategy. And then they'll get interested in that, but no, not in a million years would I
if you
start
really want to
somebody
mess
off
with
with
people, you start them with like World of Warcraft and Diablo. There goes your social life down the toilet.
I would say Roller Coaster Tycoon, but that goes to your point.
Bringing up that real quick, there's a game out called Farm Simulator 2015. Why? Why?
Hey, well, not compared to Let's Build a Boat or How to Build a Boat, but you know.
Well, I'm not going to buy that game in, but I see like the next big game, Farm Simulator, I'm like, who, oh, forget it. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit, okay? I'm never gonna. That doesn't even sound like a game. It sounds like friggin' Minecraft. Minecraft is not a game. It's a sandbox.
Oh, I am gonna murder somebody. This is the second time Minecraft's been brought up, and I'm gonna stab both of you in the faces.
What? What's the problem here?
Minecraft is great.
I hate
Minecraft
I can't
is
do it.
wonderful.
I watched another YouTube channel, and there was a gentleman playing the game, and I watched it for 30 minutes, and I was like, okay, I like him. He's going to tell me all about it, and I'm going to give it another shot. I'm just watching, and what he built was immaculate. I was just like, this is great, but I'm like, I don't have the patience
for it.
Yeah, I don't either. It
But
looks
that's like your argument with. Excuse me.
There
That's
we
like
go
your
again.
argument with Civilization. That you said you're just watching stuff. Yeah, Minecraft, you're building stuff, but then after a while,
Minecraft is a virtual Lego game. A true Lego game.
It looks like a Nintendo game, but it's not a Nintendo game.
It's
That's
a
what
Lego
bothers me.
game. It's not Lego game like a Lego brand, but fundamentally it is a building block game. And that's literally what they achieved with that game. Was they took Kinects, they took Erector sets, and they took Legos, and they turned it into one digital mainframe that you can interact with. So for people to sit here and be like, oh, but you don't like the simulators because you sit down and watch anything. I'm not sitting down and just watching Minecraft happen. I'm actively participating in building a mechanism or building a mansion that functions the way that I want it to function. I'm a crafty, on-hands kind of guy like that. I change the spark plugs in my car. I like stuff like that. I change the brakes.
Each their own then, fair enough.
That's the kind of game I like, and that's who it appeals to. It's people that like to do the Erector sets, the Lego blocks. So
That's
when
why
people
my
say
nephew
it's not a
likes it.
game, well, everything else has been turned into a game.
I don't.
Right? What live action role playing has been turned into a game, right? That's your Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
Right? Racing has been turned into a game. That's your Need for Speeds and your Gran
Sports.
Turismos. Sports have been turned into games, right? Even the stuff that you can't do, like shoot other people, has been turned into games. Robbing banks has been turned into games
That's
through
bad.
the paydays. All these other aspects has been turned into games. And then Lego puts out a game that's like, no, that's everything that everybody else is making. And then Mojang comes along and they're like, this is what Lego games should really be like.
I'm not saying that Minecraft is not a game. It has its own merits, and the fans who love it, I commend them for it.
Fight you to death. I like that.
But like, it's something where I don't think it's a good starter.
No.
No.
I would
Why?
never argue that it's a good starter.
I know,
Not in a million years.
But here's my thought. I want you to get your both thoughts on this. Portal. What do you think of that as a starter?
Oh wait.
That one, look. Go ahead.
Console or PC? Console or PC?
Either one.
Console, yes. PC, no. I know it's designed for the PC, but I feel it's a better console game.
I don't think any first-person shooter-esque kind of game should ever been played on a PC.
Yeah, I tried to play on PC, and I was like, this game is miserable.
I don't think, unless you have the right interface, because my uncle had like this mouse that had a ball on the side instead of it being
the
like
trackball.
the
trackball,
trackball, which was amazing for first-person shooters, right? Or a joystick of some kind. That's fine for first-person shooters. But if you have just a mouse and you're pointing and clicking on a PC game, no, you should never do that. It takes a lot of investment, financial investment, to make a PC game, a first-person shooter, actually worth the time to play. So Portal on a console, absolutely. I think it's a good starter.
Because I think it gives that puzzle aspect where they have to think and solve things.
The story is there.
The story is there.
It's funny. It's fun to play. And then you have like the end of it or the second act of it, second and third act, where it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
People get cake.
See, I
Still
think
want my cake.
I think we can all agree that makes a great starter game.
Yeah.
It's like a Portal. But then it ends up Portal then becomes this franchise.
Would you call it a franchise?
It's only got 2 games.
Yeah, but you're telling me there's not going to be a third?
No.
Not as far as I know.
No.
I don't know.
They already said there's not going to be a Half-Life 3.
Finally!
They already confirmed that
Thank
there's
God.
not going to be a Half-Life 3.
I'm not
if they're
saying
not making a
Half-Life, I'm
Half-Life,
saying-
it's the same company.
Yeah, but
If they're not going to make Half-Life, which is their cake and butter, they're
They're
not
not gonna
making a
make-
Portal.
No.
I don't know. All right, then besides that, franchises. what makes this franchise so successful?
Fans.
Yeah, but you have to lure the fans in.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. All right, the best franchises aren't necessarily the most successful franchises.
Very true.
To me, the best franchises are Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, Devil May Cry. But if you want to deem it as successful, you have to make a lot of money off of it. And that's going to be your Call of Duties, your Assassin's Creed, your EA Sports. I personally cannot stand a sports game. For the life of me, I cannot play a sports game. I can't understand it. I could do a racing game, but not a sports game. But, Call of Duty, if I were to argue, right, so we have your Assassin's Creed, which is a completely broken system. I think we've talked about that umpteenth times.
Yes.
So that's a completely broken system. So what is it about Assassin's Creed that keeps people coming back for more punishment? I don't know. I can't.
Well,
That new gameplay looks sick.
yeah, when we checked out, we've had this talk that Unity was broken, and it was
Black Flag was really good.
Black Flag was good, and then they stepped back with Unity, and it really, in my eyes, damaged their image a lot with the Assassin's Creed. And then even to you, I was saying, I don't know if I'm going to get the new one. I don't think I'm going to get the new one. And then when it released, I said to you, did I not say?
Yeah, you're like, they got me again.
Yeah, they got me again. Because it's the world and just what they show off. And it's just like, ooh, I would really love to be in London.
Here's my problem. 2 years ago, when they released Unity, or when they were in the process of talking about Unity and they released Black Flag, they said, no, we are not going to do anything during this time frame, specifically. It's never going to happen. And then now we have Syndicate being released during that time frame. And it's like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? You said that you wouldn't. And then they're putting it out, and the only reason I feel like they're putting it out is because they're like, hey, you know what? Grand Theft Auto has cars. We should have cars in ours.
Oh god.
Or a horse and buggy.
A horse and or
Give her
carriage.
a freaking
So Syndicate
horse.
feels like they're like, oh yeah, instead of fast traveling the way that we always wanted you to fast travel, which was jumping across buildings, sliding around stuff, we're gonna give you a horse and carriage to make your travel easier. Instead of fixing the goddamn problem, we're gonna give you this carriage so that then you can get around town easier. And the problem
Come here,
is
please.
transitioning from building to building. The problem is what is it? The impact detection on their system. The guidance system when it goes from chaining jumps from one to the other to gain momentum so that then you can make that last jump across an alleyway, across a busy street. They're not fixing the problem. They just added something so that then they could just completely go around the problem. And they went, oh, you know what we said we're not going to do, we're going to do so that then we can fix this little problem bug that we've been having and we can't seem to get around.
No, I don't want to fix that problem. What's next?
Well,
So why are they so successful? I have no idea.
but the argument can be said for Call of Duty.
But no, Call of Duty is not broken.
Yeah,
Call
but
of Duty
it's-
works seamlessly.
Yeah, but it's also...
It's a quick cash game.
I love Call of Duty, and fans who watch us and you guys know, every Call of Duty I pick up because I love the campaign.
I don't get it.
But it's the same game. It's a 5-hour campaign where you're an action star, basically, and
Liam
then
Nelson, right?
yeah, Liam Neeson, and basically after that, then you go into multiplayer maps, and it's always just all multiplayer maps, and that's why people keep playing Call of Duty. If they gave me one Call of Duty that just had map packs, and then they just continue to do it, that would be great. Give $20 for 4 map packs, and they did that every 4 or 5 months. That would be something. But they have to have these big titles to keep drawing them in. And it's just that makes it successful. But
That's their subscription service. If you think about it, the reason why Call of Duty releases at the same time every year is because you're renewing your subscription.
Yep.
That's pretty much what's going on. You're renewing your subscription for the new servers, and if they're probably not even new servers, honestly, it's probably still running the same stuff that's running all the old servers. They just have a new game running on those same servers.
Yeah.
And now you're renewing your subscription service so that then you can play the new maps and the new games and the new modes and all that stuff. The reason Call of Duty has the following it has is because of the multiplayer. I'll give you that 100% without a doubt. But it's the campaign by itself, without playing the game, the campaign is not broken at all. The game is flawless. The game is flawless on the campaign end of it. On the multiplayer end of it, it might not be flawless, but that could be as simple as your internet connection. You should have gotten a headshot, but you didn't because it lagged out. Whatever the case
Who
may
stole
be.
my kill?
You know, it's a lot of stuff like that. So that's gonna keep the customers coming back for more. But if you're trying to argue why these two completely opposite games are so successful, I have no idea why. I get why Call of Duty is successful. I get it. You get the renewing your subscription to the online packs, and you can play against your friend and, you know, talk about how much sex you've had with their mother last night.
Yep.
That's
Every
absolutely
single
fine.
time.
And for you, that works. But Assassin's Creed to be a successful franchise, I do not understand why. I don't understand how Assassin's Creed is doing it. I don't understand how Ubisoft is able to achieve success with such a broken system.
See, but the same thing could be said about sports game. A sports game comes out every year. Your Maddens, your NHL, your baseballs. But they tweak little things. But does that make it, what makes it that great or successful? If the new thing in hockey is just, and I know this is an old thing, but instead of pushing a button, you use the analog stick to
And
shoot.
that screwed me up because I'm used to you push the darn button and you
Yeah.
score anyway.
So that it changed, you know, but it was that little change that didn't make a difference. Oh, we threw in a new game mode. It doesn't warrant another purchase, which makes me wonder, you know, why is that so successful? To me, a game that has a franchise that's successful is like the Grand Theft Autos, where Grand Theft Auto 3 was amazing. Then we got Vice City, which is my favorite Grand Theft Auto. Mm-hmm. Then we got San Andreas, which you could do all this different stuff. Then we got 4. Then in a couple, like in 5+ years, we got Grand Theft Auto 5, and we're not going to see another Grand Theft Auto till probably next console cycle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
Probably not.
Because it has that franchise successful because that game just is.
But that's the same argument that I have for all the good franchises. Metal Gear Solid you don't see come out every year. Final Fantasy you don't see come out every year. But yet when you think of a franchise, when you think of a good franchise, a really genuinely good franchise, you're thinking about those games, about the games that have this great backing that's been around forever. That's, you know, had Grand Theft Auto didn't just start at Grand Theft Auto 3. There were other ones before it that were really good, but they weren't 3D. Grand Theft Auto 3 is seen as Grand Theft Auto, the first rendition of it, because they finally went 3D with it.
And opened up that.
And they opened up that realm. And that was a launch pad for Rockstar to start developing all these, you know, Bully, Red Dead Redemption, all these games. What was that other one that was a flop? There was another one that they made that was a flop that just wasn't that great at all. I can't remember what it was. It was like it was like a smash, like it was supposed to be like a horror hack and slash kind of thing. House of the Dead? No, not House of the Dead. It was supposed to be an open world hack and slash horror kind of thing that they made. I don't remember what it was, and it came out right after Grand Theft Auto 3. It was crap, and then Bully came out and it was good, and then you had your Vice Cities and all that stuff.
If you guys know, as always, put in the comments.
Yeah, of course, please do.
But it comes to the fact where we could also, what makes a game successful, where do they make it where it overstays its welcome? I give you an example, Gears of War. I love the Gears of War series. I played the first, I played the second, I played the third. Great trilogy.
I'm the opposite.
And then they came out with Judgment, which was just terrible. And now they're coming up with another one that doesn't have Cliff Brzezinski.
The main character!
No, the creator of Gears, one of the co-creators, Cliff Brzezinski, because he went to do other things. So they're just milking this, and yeah, it doesn't come out every year, but now it feels like every couple of years they're like, oh, here's the new Gears of War.
See, but like, all right, Gears of War still has that infancy where when you think about it, that one flop doesn't ruin the other three.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed has completely ruined the other games for me.
See, I wouldn't say
because the longer that they went with these bugs that they never fixed, it's like, when are they ever gonna fix these bugs? Now I hate, I don't like Assassin's Creed 2 as much because I realize the same bugs that were in Assassin's Creed 2 are here in Unity. And you said you were rebuilding the system from scratch. And it's still disgusting. It's still clunky. This is supposed to be a Ninja-esque kind of game. And yet, back on PlayStation 1, they did Ninja better than you do.
Yes.
So why are you still... For me, Assassin's Creed has long overstayed its welcome. Assassin's Creed is like when you're asking your aunt to leave and she just won't leave because she wants to clean the apartment.
Get out. Get out.
It's just, no, it's okay. It's okay. I love you. Bye. Mwah, mwah. Happy Mother's Day. Bye. Mwah, mwah. Okay, Ma. All right, Ma. Yeah, Ma. Sure, Ma. I get it, Ma. All right, Ma. Okay, Ma. All right, Ma. Like, that is Assassin's Creed to me. It's like, it just keeps on talking and I'm trying to get off the phone. And it won't let me get off the phone.
So, which brings us to the whole of the topic, and I ask you both because you haven't shed a lot of light on this topic.
Yeah, because I'm sitting over here with my thumb in my face.
Sorry.
What makes a franchise so successful?
Like I was saying, I think it's the fans, and I think it's the quality of the games personally. My example, Devil May Cry came out.
I thought he was going to say Zelda.
I thought he was definitely going to say Zelda. My example is Zelda. Zelda.
Surprisingly, fans this week, I'm not saying it this week. Ain't going to happen. So Devil May Cry came out. Amazing game. Tough. Had a great time with it. The second one came out, and I'm surprised the franchise didn't die after that game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that game is hard. You never ever want to play that. Devil May Cry 3 came out, and it was just a nice big, oh yeah, our second game sucked. Try this, shut your mouth, and tell me what you think. Loved it. Devil May Cry 4 came out. They improved on the game, even though it was a different character, yet Dante was still friggin' amazing when you finally get to play him. Then comes DMC. There's my answer.
I like DMC.
Well, the Definitive Edition, they said that they changed the
the Definitive Edition, yes. The original, gone. See you later.
My problem is, and this is the same problem I have with Second Son. All right, it's a continuity
Here we go
issue.
again.
It's a continuity issue. In the first one, they said that a demon came up and had sex with a human and gave birth to 2 sons.
Yep.
Right? And now DMC comes out and apparently a demon and an angel had sex and gave birth to 2 sons. No! That's not what happened.
No.
And DMC isn't a reboot. It's a prequel. And they said that it was a prequel. And then they went to say it was a reboot. And then it was a prequel. And then it was a reboot. And then it was a prequel. And then it was a reboot. And then it was a prequel. So I was like, all right, I'm sticking with it's a prequel because number 1, he looks like a teenager. And I've never seen him as a teenager. And number 2, I don't see Virgil anywhere. Yep. So I'll say it's a prequel. But how the hell is it a prequel if a demon had sex with an angel when it's supposed to be a demon had sex with a human? And that's where Dante comes up.
Continuity errors.
Yeah, continuity errors.
I love these because you just get so
I get freaking I might go in a little rant.
The reason it's a prequel is because Mundus is in it. That's how I see it as a prequel.
Mundus is in it.
Yeah. Other than that,
it can't be a prequel then.
Yeah, the first one.
Oh, the first one. He said that he had already dealt with Mundus before.
Yeah, you're right.
He did. So then it could be a prequel. So. Like, make up your mind. Is it a prequel or is it a reboot? If it's a reboot, I understand the whole angel demon, you select which power you're using. Because that's the whole point, right? Demon was you bring the enemy to you, and angel was you bring yourself to the enemy. where you would hit the left triggers and right triggers, and all of a sudden you were using an angel power or a demon power. I was like, all right, that's nice. It's a hybrid of Dante and Nero.
That's what I give credit to. Other than that, I really am just not a fan of that game.
Really?
Yeah. Like the Definitive Edition, yes, but the original just, oh god. But I was going to say the other couple of franchises where you've God of War. No one has seen a game like that when it came out. Everybody's like, you hack and slash, you kill monsters, you destroy stuff. This guy gets more messed up than I've ever seen in my entire life, and yet he still comes out on top. And yet you have that one little spot in your heart where you're like, all this shit happened to him, and yet I want to see how this story is going to end. Like the first one ended, you're like, okay, so it could be an ending. Maybe it's a one-off. Maybe they'll get a sequel. You see what comes out, and then they just got you hooked in with that ending where he's climbing up Mount Olympus.
Yeah.
And then the third one, oh my God, I feel bad for that world of how dead that planet is now. You know,
We'll
it's
see in the fourth one.
I want to see the fourth one. My friend's like, he died. I'm like, no, he didn't, you idiot. You see the blood stain. You see him walking away with a big hole in his chest. What are you, dumb?
They ain't gonna kill him all.
Yeah, no, but like, here's the thing. I'm gonna say, for a successful franchise, I think the trilogy is awesome. I didn't like the PSP one-off games. Like,
Yeah.
Chain of Olympus, maybe.
What-
But
And then there was
When I think of a
Ascensions
franchise-
was the other one.
Yeah.
Ascension was good. Chain of Olympus, not so much.
When I think of a franchise, I always exclude the portables.
Yeah.
I always exclude the portables. The problem with that is if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan,
Oh, dear God.
the only way to follow the continuity of the story is to play every single iteration of the game.
Which I think is not fair.
It's not. It's not right at all. Because between Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, there is a massive gap that is only filled by Chain of Memory.
Yeah, because it's Castle of friggin' Oblivion and no one remembers a dumb thing.
Yeah.
Like, that to me, that's okay. It's a game to branch the games together, but it's a cop-out.
Yep.
You cannot say it's not a cop-out because it's like, oh, we walked out of the castle and we forgot everything. Oh, second adventure. I'm like, that is bullshit.
Yeah.
I
It's
bought that
horrible.
game, I played it, and I raged. I'm like, that is a, like how you are with Infamous, that game makes me that mad. Second Son is my Chain of Memories. That just pisses me off because that's such a cop-out.
But
There's no 3.
I can't deal with that nonsense because here I am. I play with Kingdom Hearts, right? And then I get done with it and I'm like, oh my God, that game was so amazing.
Yes.
That was an amazing game. And then I'm like, all right, when's the next one coming out? And then my cousin's like, oh, have you played Chain of Memories? And I'm like, what the hell is Chain of
What?
Memories?
I was like,
and
what?
they're like, oh yeah, it's on the what was it?
PSP.
No, it wasn't on the PSP.
It was on the DS.
It was on the DS. So number one, you're switching from Sony to Nintendo, which is
It did
astonishing.
get a PlayStation release eventually.
Eventually,
But it started on-
You're switching from Sony to Nintendo back and forth that way, right? And then you're or Sony, not even Xbox. I don't think Xbox had a
No,
Kingdom Hearts.
Xbox didn't
right?
get it.
So you're going back and forth between Sony and Nintendo, and you're releasing your console games on Sony, then you're releasing your handhelds on Nintendo, and then your consoles on Sony again. But I have to have both of them
Just
in order to understand the continuity of your story. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Are you insane? You couldn't even put it out on a PSP? Are you out of your damn mind? Who the hell do you think you are? I'm gonna buy a Nintendo DS so that I can play your game? You're insane. That's not happening.
Yep. Oh, God.
And then the whole system, the whole storytelling on that is broken. Besides the individual game storytelling, just telling a story between two different devices is just insane. Like if it was the PSP, it would have been different.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a PSP release, and they didn't have a Wii release or a GameCube release of Kingdom Hearts.
No.
So, what are you doing?
That's basically called different video game companies fucking each other over just to get money out of the series.
It's
Which-
ridiculous.
That's stupid. I hate that personally.
That's ridiculous to have that. That was a phenomenal, and now Kingdom Hearts doesn't have as big of a following as it should have, because it should be one of like everybody's top 10.
Yep.
Not even like top 3. It should be, but I don't even know half the story because I only played 2 games out of 6.
That's bad storytelling. That's horrible storytelling.
I've only played 2 games out of 6 because the other 4 games are on a Nintendo DS and geared for children. I'm not playing that.
Nah.
So, what makes a franchise successful?
I wish I could tell you.
It just depends on how drunk the developers are. Whether they want to be sober and get the game out good, or they want to be drunk.
I think
I think it's a combination of just an alignment of stars. You have your fans who are going to be avid followers, right? If it wasn't for Devil May Cry, if it wasn't for God of War, if it wasn't for Kingdom Hearts, if it wasn't for Metal Gear Solid, I'm going to say not Metal Gear, I'm going to say Metal Gear Solid. If it wasn't for Grand Theft Auto 3, you wouldn't have had these fans come in and just float to these titles and just be like, oh my God, they're so good. Oh, wow. And then wait for the second one. And then once you suck them in with the second one, then Devil May Cry being excluded from this because the second one just
doesn't exist.
alienated people. But once you suck them in from the second and third one, let's say the second and third one, you suck them back in and get them really like invested in the story and invested in your game, then you just have a cult following, and they're gonna follow you till what's that comet? Haley's Comet comes back around, so they can drink the Kool-Aid.
Here's my little quick question, because we're harking on this subject forever. What if in the franchise? Okay, the games have to. Are you guys saying you agree that the games have to have a story told between every game? Like this game?
No.
Okay, because I was gonna say, because Mario has a very bad story.
Mario has the worst story. Mario's the worst culprit of continuity issues ever. Because I don't know which princess he wants to sleep with.
Well, Peach is a whore, so it's a truth.
I'm not sure which princess he wants to sleep with.
Well, Bowser is his her side man.
Yep. Well, here's what I was gonna say real quick. Because if you think about it, there's very few Mario games that actually like one follows the other. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. You can't even say the original Mario trilogy. Mario 1, then Mario 2, which was a dream. You can say Mario 3 Mario 1 and 3 have something to do with each other, and then possibly Super Mario World, but it's just like, oh, we left Mushroom Kingdom, now they're in Dinosaur World. I'm like, okay, guys. The closest you literally could say with a continuity, as far as I can get the short version, Mario 1 to 3. I can't say Mario World, but then probably to 64, because you're back in the Mushroom Kingdom.
I exclude
best
Mario because when you talk about franchises and you think of franchises, I don't think a lot of people think of Mario as a franchise. I think they think of Mario as a character. Yeah. And the franchise is built around that character. Devil May Cry is kind of built around Dante, but if it wasn't for Devil May Cry, Dante would have no place in it. You can sell a game with just Mario in it.
Yeah.
You could sell Brawl or Smash Brothers and have Mario on the cover.
Yep. And
people would buy it and be like, wait, Mario with his fist and it's called Smash? Something's up here.
No, it was better with the commercial when it came out. That's what got me.
So you could do something where I could sell you a cup and it's just Mario on the cup. That's how far Mario has gotten.
It looks cool.
Devil May Cry, where you would have to work a little bit on it. You can't sell me.
Who's the guy with the red jacket and the sword?
You can't sell me on that, especially when you change the way he looks every single time he's on my television screen.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give my quick little final thought on what makes a franchise successful, and then we have to move on. We're going to time. Here's to me what makes this franchise successful. It's that story, but it's also something that just you gravitate to. With Gears of War, it was the torque bow. When I first brought that back and it stuck and then it went doot doot doot, I was like, what the hell is going on? And he just explodes. I go, oh, that's something cool.
Yeah.
With the Uncharted and the set pieces where I'm just like, that's something completely different. Ratchet and Clank with that story and just a fun atmosphere. I think each franchise what makes them successful is that little bit of something that attracts the gamer, whether it be the story, the gameplay, or whatever it may have you.
Remember that?
I love Turok.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Dinosaur Hunter.
They haven't come back out with it.
Yeah.
That's because he kind of ended up being on 64 for a while, and then he kind of went to the handhelds.
Yeah. But as a first person shooter, it was different. It was something that engrossed you. Like, he didn't have a regular gun. He had different modes to his guns.
Yeah.
And
he had the evolution of weapons. He had like a knife, arrows, then he got pistols, shotguns.
Then he had futuristic blade saws that would bounce off of walls in their second iteration.
He had a gun which had a mushroom cloud weapon on it. It was an atomic explosion.
It was awesome as a first person shooter.
Yeah.
Well, that was also a very violent game.
Yeah.
For the time.
It was a violent game. Which brings us up to, and I'm hoping we'll be just a little bit on this.
No. It's not happening.
Parental ratings.
I'll let somebody else go first because I really have a lot to say about parental ratings, and I have been talking way too much. So,
I was going to say,
Jeremy, you start.
As far as the history I know, it probably started back in 91, 92 with Castlevania Bloodline. No, I'm sorry, I'm completely wrong. It was Mortal Kombat that turned the big switch for all these games need ratings. Because once it came off the arcades to the consoles, blood, ripping people's heads off. Someone's like, we have to do something. But there's your history lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy that one. My thoughts are, it depends. Okay, I cannot stand how you have like 17-year-old kids walking into a Target or a Toys R Us. Can I get the new Call of Duty? No, you have to be 18. Dude, become 18, then play the game. Shut up. If your parents buy it for you, lucky you. If you want to buy it yourself, too bad.
No.
The thing that gets me is when I was in a Best Buy the other day, and there was a kid with his mom going to get a game, and the mom goes, "What game are we looking for?" And the son goes, "Killer Instinct."
Oh, God.
This kid must have been 9 years old, and he's going to play Killer Instinct, which is...
It's a good fighting series. I like it.
It's a good fighting series, but it's very violent, and
Yep.
it's got that mentality. And it's not the first time I've heard. When I go to GameStop, I hear, "Oh, I need the new Call of Duty," or, "I need this," and it's like, oh, okay. And then the mother gets it for them without even thinking, oh, what's wrong with this game, And it's surprising because then they complain why their kids are so why they're so violent, which is another topic which I cannot wait to go into, is video game violence and if it contributes.
I am going to be so political right now. And I'm sorry for getting political.
Yes, to clear your throat.
And I'm going to touch on this right now. All right? It is scientifically proven that video games do not cause violence in people.
It's true.
It is scientifically proven that video games do not encourage violence in people, that children, even the simplest of children, understand the difference between shooting somebody in a video game and shooting somebody in real life. They understand the difference. They understand that when you shoot somebody, they do not get back up. They stay down. They understand that. They don't, they especially online games, where you shoot somebody and then you see the same name appear across your screen again, and then you shoot him in the head and he still appears. They understand the difference. There is no violence in video games, especially since the violence in the video games are so unrelatable
Over the top.
to what you can do. You're not going to go get chains, wrap them around your wrists, and attach two gigantic blades that you can't barely carry on them onto those chains, and then swing them around and cause fire to come out of the chains. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to do that. All right? Nobody's going to be able to do that. All right? Mario punching somebody is violence. I think that parental ratings are a sack of bullshit, as far as I'm concerned. It is a sack of shit because the kids still get the games.
Yep.
It does not matter. I was in a GameStop the other day. I won't name any GameStop in particular, but I was at a GameStop, and it wasn't anybody's fault. All right? I saw a person walk up to another person, ask them if they can buy a game for them because they don't have the ID and they're not allowed to buy the game. And that person, who I commend, by the way, I will absolutely commend that person, went, bought the game, and gave it to the person. All right? Art is a form of expression. If you cannot deal with it, then don't watch it. That is it. And games are the ultimate form of art because you are creating every aspect of somebody's experience at that moment. So to sit here and say, oh, we're going to put a rating system on them, nobody's paying attention to the rating system. All right? Mom and dad have way too much on their mind to sit here and think of this little disc as being dangerous to their kid. As this little cartridge being dangerous to their kid. The only time that anybody cares about violence in video games is when a Grand Theft Auto comes out. That's the only... When, throughout the years, do you hear about violence in video games ever until they put out a Grand Theft Auto?
It's because, quick example, Grand Theft Auto, you beat up hookers, you kill people, you blow stuff up. Splatterhouse, what do? Kill monsters.
Yeah.
No, like, okay, it's violent, it's over the top, but you're killing monsters, you're not harming humans.
Assassin's Creed, you kill people.
No.
You understand? But they
Immature.
But they don't say anything about it.
Yep.
They don't talk about Assassin's Creed when it comes out. They don't talk about Call of Duty when it comes out.
Yes, but they did, if you remember a couple years ago, when they had that airport scene.
Yes.
But that was one time. Every single time
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto comes out, they don't talk. They talk about it. Every single time. Only because Call of Duty made something a little controversial as an airport scene that's completely unrelated to what actually happened at that time. You gotta be kidding me. The rating system is just a way for people to feel like their soul is cleansed. But it's not actually working for anything. All right, the
And
movies.
actually, it helps the sales when they talk about Grand Theft Auto and say, "Oh, the
That's all
violence
it
and
does.
everything."
Everybody
just
wants to
promotes-
get it.
Yeah,
Everybody wants to
I
get
want
it.
to see what this is about.
And that's why Rockstar will never come out and say, "Stop talking about our game." They'll never say
keep
that.
making 'em.
They won't. They'll sit back and watch the cash flow. They'll just be like, "Yes, mission accomplished." Like Futurama or what was it? Futurama with that bug that was blowing up the cities. You're like, "Yes,
Good,
exactly."
good, very good. But I will give you another example, Nick, about the guy buying the game for the kid. When I worked at my old job, I don't want to rat myself out, Black Ops 2 came out. I'm working in electronics. I had at least 15 to 20 kids, not at once, but during the day, like, can I get this game? And I'm like, you need an ID. One kid gave me a dirty look and he walked away. I'm like, come here. He goes, what? I took my ID, because when you, at that store, what you have to do is literally give the license, scan the license, and then you can buy it. I took my license out, scanned it for him, and I'm like, there you go. He's like, really? I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. Have a good day.
See, and then and it's getting so over the top. Like, they're gonna get their hands on that game regardless.
I didn't want to die
Regardless.
the kid. I didn't want to die the
if
sales.
his parents don't get it for him, or if he doesn't get
His
it,
uncle will get it for him.
his
His
uncle-
Christmas,
cousins will get
birthday
it for him.
present.
friend will
Someone's
have
gonna
it.
get it.
Like, there is a way to play these games. It is not mutual. All right, it's not like a movie theater where the movie comes out and you have to go to the movie theater to get it or to watch it. When you have to go to the movie theater in order to watch it for the first year that it's out. That's not how video games work. When it comes out, everybody has it.
Yep.
You can go to anywhere to play that game. You could pirate the game and play it on your PC.
We don't endorse that.
Because
Sorry.
they have emulators on your systems.
Oh, you said the E word.
They have emulators where I can emulate the PS4 console on my PC, and now I can play any PS4 game because it's all pirated on the internet anyway.
Oh, cool.
So if you're gonna sit here and tell me that we can't play the game because of a parental rating, it is psychopathic to think that that's stopping any minor from playing these games. It's not. It's not stopping anyone from playing the game, and it's not saving anybody from shooting somebody else in the face over a game. It's not going to happen.
Are you done, Professor?
No, I'm not done. I'm not done. Yeah, I'm done.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I hate parental ratings. I hate them.
I think the fans can say that.
I hate parental
Yeah.
ratings. I hate that, and it all comes down to when I was a kid. I used to listen to rap music, and my mom wouldn't let me get it because it said parental advisory. Ah,
Same here.
You son of a.
It's parental ratings is an interesting topic just because there's many different reactions to it. Some think it's a waste. Some think that it has its place, you know. But the thing that gets me is some of the stuff where it says rated E for everyone or rated E plus 10. So you have to be 10. Like, it's like stupid things like that where I'm just like, what? Like, I don't understand. Like, if you really think about it, every game should really be rated mature. Mario jumps on Goombas and
That's
squashes
murder.
them.
That's murder.
He takes a shell and whooshes it at a Koopa.
He shoots a fireball and lights the thing on fire.
Yeah. You know, that. You also have, like, anything. Like, it's very hard. Even in basketball or football, when you tackle somebody, what kid is going to be like, oh, unless he plays, he could be like, oh, I saw it in Madden, so I'm just going to run and tackle this kid.
It's all
Yeah.
about context. The context of the violence is what allows you to rate it in a certain way. Really? But who are you to determine what the context of that violence
Yeah.
is?
Violence.
Mario is literally killing entire races, all right? Like a Nazi. He's like, you don't look like me, so I'm going to kill you because your life doesn't matter. Because you don't look like
true.
me.
It's true.
And you're going to say that he's for everyone, but Dante is killing demons from hell, and only a mature audience can watch him. Are you serious? Are you kidding me right now?
The big problem I have is that when the ESRB came out, it was 20 years ago, and yet no one has yet to update the rules of the game. If they update, like, say you got rid of the old farts, like, in my opinion, there are certain things in this world which should be, like, updated. I'm going to say this now. If you know me, the Academies are a bunch of old dinosaurs who can't pick a good movie for Best Picture. Clear them out and put someone in their 30s in there. The ESRB needs to be redone. And personally, I think if you can update the ESRB, we'd have more like fair guidelines of what makes a mature game.
But
what shouldn't be distributed.
You remember back in the day when the movie Twin Peaks was a rated R movie?
Yes.
Now that's at tops like a PG-13
It's
movie.
tame. It's tame for its time.
You know, like compared to what they have out there now, it's a PG-13 movie. You're allowed to say one curse word in a PG-13 movie. You know how I learned that? From the movie Be Cool. Have you ever seen Be
Yes.
Cool? Right? It's the sequel to Get Shorty.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes. John Travolta is driving down in a limousine or in a car with his buddy, and he goes, "Did you know that if you film a PG-13 movie, you're only allowed to say one curse word?" He's like, "Really?" He's like, "You know what I say? F that." And that was the last curse word in the entire movie. That was the last curse word in the entire movie because that movie was rated PG-13, and it was mocking the system. And it's ridiculous how there's like these little nitpicky things that they have, in all these facets of like, oh, we're telling you how to behave yourself.
Well, for me, the parent rating with blood, blood and gore, because that's a big thing. That's where I'm like, okay, every game has some kind of violence. The thing where I'm like, okay, maybe it deserves to be an M game is like when there's like nudity. Like The Witcher deserves to be an M-rated game because you see tits and ass and
What did we do in the first 20 minutes of the game? We're staring at a girl's ass.
Yeah, we stare.
Yeah, like God of War. The opening credits of every scene is
about that.
finishing having sex with like 3 or 4 women.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the beginning of every single game. So yeah, it makes sense.
Like for that, I understand, but for something like the Call of Duties, where it's like it's war. War is bleak. War is bad. This is the real. I played a game called Spec Ops: The Line, and I don't know if you ever played it.
No.
But it was a cool concept because it was a third-person shooter, and it brought you like more in depth with like the character. Like you saw this guy hanging, and it's like, do you walk past him or do you like save him from hanging? But at the end, it shows how, and I don't want to spoil a lot, but it shows like how there wasn't anything there. He was seeing things. So if you decided to take him out of his misery,
it was your karma.
it was you because that was your bad instinct instead of walking away. And it shows at the end where he wasn't there. So it was the effect on the soldier, which was a cool concept. Same thing with Valiant Hearts. I brought it up a couple of times.
Yeah.
But it's the effect of war. I said the greatest thing about that game is you didn't need the shooting and everything like that. It was the mentality, and that's an M-rated game because it's for an older audience to understand. A 9-year-old's not going to appreciate the effects of war in the Spec Ops game or in Valiant Hearts like us, who's a little bit older. So I understand that.
But even still, like this again, this is like very political. I have a huge problem with us sheltering children. I have a huge problem with us saying, "Hey, look, I can give you a cowboy gun, but you can't know what it's for. I can let you pretend to be a cowboy, but I can't let you know what cowboys did when the Indians were on the before the Indians had reservations."
Good point.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
I'll let you do that, but I won't tell you, hey, by the way, they killed a whole species.
Mario?
Like Mario. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll let you. What's another good example? Like I'll let you play Mario, but I won't explain to you that he's killing people.
I'll give you a quick example. When we're growing up, what did we watch? Ghostbusters, He-Man and She-Ra, Thundercats. What was it? Just people fighting each other. You're my enemy. I need to fight you. I need to stop you. Nowadays, it's like Dora the Explorer and like, what's it? Dora Diego.
Yeah. I'll let you watch Dora, but I won't explain to you that where the are her parents.
How is this child going out and solving these things? How could she talk to a monkey?
This is one crazy bitch. She's talking to a monkey. She's got a fox chasing her. Where the is this girl's parents? Nobody's saying that.
It's educational.
So it's educational. So it's perfectly fine since Dora's doing it for you to go out and do it too. You can walk away from your parents at a supermarket. How many times have you been in a supermarket and there's a parent looking for their damn child or a child looking for their parent? Why? Because Dora can do it, so can I. My parents let me watch Dora. My parents don't let me watch what really happens, like Hardline and To Catch a Predator. They don't let me watch that, but they'll let me watch Dora.
Any other thoughts on the parental rating?
No.
It sucks.
I'm gonna blow up, Pete.
It's definitely.
I'm so angry.
I think you know what.
I'm done. No more talking.
You know what though? I think we do need to have a part 2 to this conversation.
Yeah.
I think this parental rating, we've scratched the surface, but I think there's more.
Yeah,
so
I absolutely think there's a lot more.
there's going to be a part 2 of the parental ratings and probably a couple other
Yeah.
topics.
I think there's gonna be a part 2 of like a part 37 of parental ratings.
The return of Nick's revenge.
Nick's wrath.
Because you seem to be against it.
I'm so adamantly against sheltering children.
And I see where they're coming from. But that is wrapping up episode 9. And Nick, you've talked a lot, so do you want to pass all that jazz to somebody else?
No, I can do all that jazz.
All right,
guys.
Nick.
Do you mind?
Do all that jazz.
All right, so you can catch us on Twitter at improv_gaming. You can get us on Facebook at improv gaming, space between the 2 words.
You talk too much.
God damn, I did talk too much. You can like and subscribe to the video. You can also get us on Instagram at improv_gaming. And you can get us on Twitch at improvcap.
What if they wanted to email us?
They want to email us? Then find it on one of those sites. No, it's at improv. It's improvgamers@gmail.com. You're more than welcome to email us, and we're more than willing to reply.
Yes.
That's they could just
Find it on one of those sites.
I think when I was making the hat, for our show, and the guy's like, "Oh, do you want to put your Twitter handle?" And I was like, "No, we'll just put the YouTube channel." He goes, "Oh, why?" I was like, "Because if you do the beginning of our video, all our shit's right there, so you'll see it." We will be saying though, next week we do have an episode, and we're gonna explain to you guys what's going on for the next couple of weeks. Next week, when you see this episode, it's going to be our predictions of E3 2015.
Oh, yeah.
What we want to see, what we hope to see, all that. It's going to be a prediction show.
Kind of a pre-E3. More of a pre-E3 than a predictions, I would say.
Yeah.
Then what's going to happen is the following week, which is the week of the 15th.
Yeah, all we're doing is E3 coverage. We're not going to actually put out an improv gaming show. We're just going to do straight E3 coverage for you, the fans.
Something drops, we're going to put it up, view it, we're going to talk about it, and you're going to see it like that. And then, right after E3, on that 22nd,
Yep.
what are we doing, Jay?
You never tell me these things.
We don't. We are doing a best of E3.
Yes.
Yep.
I feel like, we were deciding what to do, but we feel like we, from Improv Gaming, want to show you guys what we feel is the best, and we're going to probably argue, and me and Nick are going to want to kill each other.
The RPG Awards is going to have a lot of
I think I'm just getting more and more aggravated as time goes on. And
Once we have our next debate, it's going to be like, you're going to pick up a chair, say it again!
Say it again, motherfucker! I dare you! I double dare you, motherfucker! Does he look like a bitch?
Why are you trying to f him like one?
We had at my old job, we had a funny story because we were talking about Destiny.
Uh-huh.
And my buddy who's an instigator was saying, he goes, "My daughter's named Destiny." And he goes, "Well, that sounds like a stripper." So he goes, "Stop saying that, bro." And then at one point he's just like, "Enough! It's over!" And he's like getting in. My boy's a big boy. And here's this little guy going, "Say it again! Say it again!" And we're just like, what the hell is going on? All I see is these lines just raising up. Thank you guys for watching episode 9 of Improv Gaming. Like he said, you can follow us on youtube.com/improvgaming. And as always, we'll see you guys next week for our pre-3 show. And it's going to be a crazy next couple of weeks.
This channel is now rated M for mature. Sorry, you can't watch it.
Yes, RB. Just watch it. But we're going to have a whole bunch of content. So please check us out, and we're going to give you as much as we can. And just a whole bunch of great stuff is coming in the next couple of weeks. So definitely hit that subscribe button. But as always,
game on.
I don't know. Bird, if you're going to masturbate, you have to videotape it.
Right behind the scenes.